Welcome to With You Every Step, a Brown Shoe Fit Company experience. Super excited to have Mark Toms here today. He is our e-commerce manager at Brown Shoe Fit. He's just had such a great journey, and everyone that we have on the podcast, first two episodes, Craig and I, we definitely dove into our stories, but with Mark here and just he's been at our office, he's been in a store, he's opened a store, ran it, founded it from scratch, built it into something pretty awesome with e-commerce, and now he does e-commerce for us at the company level for all our stores. So super excited to have him here with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely, man. This will be fun.
It's going to be a great morning of chatting and, diving into Mark's brain. And there's a lot up there. And we were just talking off the air how much is up there and the experience he's had at store level and the success he's had at .com level and at store level, but the .com level success in a store and now tying that into the company-wide piece is going to be super cool.
Yeah. So I just dove a little bit into your story, but if you want to share with listeners just really how you found out about Brown Shoe Fit, because at the core of this podcast is all about introducing Browns to people who might want to join us or just want to find out more or things that can help them in their own businesses. So take it away.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in Topeka, Kansas, and was probably getting ready to start my junior year of college at Washburn University, and I always like to keep busy, keep doing things, stay busy. And, at the time, I had, 4 roommates, and one of them was working at Brown Shoe Fit. I was an assistant basketball coach. I was going to school 18 hours a semester, and also working 30 to 35 hours at Best Buy. And my roommate that was working at Brown's came home and was like, "Hey, we need some help at the shoe store. Anybody want another job or part-time job?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. I love shoes." I literally was the kid in high school that, I probably had 30 to 40 pairs of sneakers, tried not to wear the same one in the same month, let alone day after day. So I was always kind of a sneakerhead. And so I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll go sell some shoes or whatever. And from there, I fell in love with it and the opportunity. And shortly after graduating college, I transferred to my second store down into Norman, Oklahoma. And, one trainee meeting later, I was in Kearney, Nebraska, running my own store with 0 employees, had our Rick's computing system. It was all still hand done. So half of our trainee class didn't know how to do handbooks, but I did, being in stores that still did handbooks or whatever. So it was a natural choice to go to Kearney, Nebraska. And basically that was my first job there, was find some employees, because this store had 0 employees. Right. And where it wasn't on a computer system, no history of the sales or anything. So I was literally no employees to ask, like, "Hey, do we sell this well? Do we not?" So it was, a blind awakening, if that makes any sense. And I just hit the ball rolling and, got onto a good name basis with the president at the time, Dennis Grummert. And so when a store opening came open, 14 months later, that I probably shouldn't have got, but I called the guy and jokingly said, "I'll take this massive store that's opening up." And he joked back and said, "No, you can't have that, but you can have the one that the guy is getting and go move to that one." So that's how I went to Watertown, Wisconsin. And while I was up there, had a great time, and it was a great community. But I wanted more for it. And so that's when brownsfootwear.com first got made, was up there in Watertown, Wisconsin. And it was a complete from scratch website. And, the automation wasn't there at the time. And you had to have a lot of Google money if you really wanted to make any type of sales. So, it was selling maybe 1 or 2 products a month. And the time I put into it was literally hours per day. And you had to manually update the inventory. And it was a lot.
What year was that, Mark?
That would have been 2008.
Okay.
probably. But yeah, so that was 2008, and that was also when the Browns eBay days kind of happened, and so some of us stores where it was a lot easier, a lot more automated. You were in front of more customers very quickly. We took that eBay fee that they would always charge and kind of consider that our advertising fee. Like, hey, it's the cost of doing some business, and so we did quite a bit of business on eBay, and brands. That's why a lot of brands now have the brand restrictions as far as if they're on eBay or Amazon or all those third parties.
We may or may not have had something to do with those policies, but it was all legit at the time.
It was. We were following the rules and selling products. But
it was such an introduction to massive eyeballs on our stuff. I remember, because again, at store level, you only have so many people coming in a day, and you throw something on eBay, and you would have thousands or tens of thousands of people that would see that product.
Oh, yeah.
It was massive.
How many of our stores jumped in on that?
I bet at one time 10 to 12 were probably on there.
Gotcha.
All
right.
Yeah.
Before my time. So.
But it was some big volume jumps. I mean, you were cranking, and because you carried that into Muskogee, right?
So from Watertown, I moved down to Muskogee, Oklahoma. Another store that was not on Rick's, so our computing system. So
lucky you.
Upon cleaning that store up, that needed basically new carpet, new everything. It was a mess when going down there, but Oklahoma was a little closer to Kansas, so wanted to get closer, and it was a kind of bigger area compared to Watertown. So I took the challenge, so I did take eBay down there with me in a sense, as far as it took me 6 months to get everything computerized. So without being computerized, I couldn't be on eBay. So I started again from scratch an eBay account down there in Muskogee. No website down there. By time my last 6 months there, we'd done $1 million just on eBay. The 6 months before I moved to my next endeavor. So.
Yeah, and being a partner, I was fortunate enough to be a partner in Muskogee before Mark was there, and we were happy to see Mark get in there and do what he does. So it was a lot of success.
It was great, yeah, and really it went fast because I was only in Muskogee for I think it was a year and a half, and got the call to the office from there. Mm-hmm. So moved up to Shenandoah, Iowa, and was head of personnel there. So, our training program, apprenticeship program, which wasn't in effect then. Kelsey's since, made that a nationally accredited thing, which is very awesome. Mm-hmm. Cool. But went up there and did that whole thing for 6.5, 7 years. And, while at the corporate level, we had some website dreams too. There and did some studies and we were pretty close to implementing. That probably would have been 2011 when we were close, 2012, close to, launching something.
What do you think the biggest hurdle was then? Like those conversations back then? So.
Probably lack of knowledge, lack of the unknown, relying on other companies' experiences, scared of it type of deal. Sure. I mean, really?
Yeah, we were such and we still are, but we were, at that time especially, we were such just shoe store guys, shoe store people, right? That we just bled inside the shoe store. So to get our heads around that .com world that we didn't really know, other than our customers were using it and our customers were buying shoes on it. So, but that was 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
So it took. We're slow to a punch.
Yeah.
But when we make it pretty good.
Yeah. Well, and even looking back at it for the, time I was doing it, which at the time, I'm thinking, I know what I'm doing. That we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do that. There was still quite a few steps involved. Just hooking up our systems to the internet. To a website. There's a lot that goes involved when you're hooking up, now 73 stores to one central brain, basically. There's a lot of nerves going on into this brownshoefitco.com now. There's a lot of nerve endings there. So
yeah. And that's where you currently are. And I mean, I don't know, we can get into it here or later in the episode, but you've learned a lot. Just seeing the process. We found Lifted Logic down in Kansas City that helped build it, but then hooking it up to Rick's and different things over the past year. I guess it can never be fully what you expected it to be, but maybe the question there is like, what have you learned over the past year? This is probably a full episode right here.
Right.
I mean, the Lifted Logic, Rick's for that matter, for my team, for Brown Shoe Fit, all the stores, everything. I've realized that it takes buy-in and belief from everybody in every angle. But it also, takes others' help, and timelines mean nothing. In the tech world, I like to call it. You can ask for a timeline, but there's so many different factors that if one thing goes, this way out of 100, it can delay a timeline. It can increase the timeline. So like, there's some things I'm like, yeah, that'll be done next week. Sure. That's the next thing on our list. And it's a year later that thing's actually done, but we got about 99 other things done before then
Right.
to get to that. So yeah, it's, as easy as I want Lifted Logic just to flip a switch. Isn't it just a button? Just click a button. I'm sure they're tired of me here and say, did you click the button yet?
There's not one magic button for a .com business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
So yeah, that's one of the big things I've learned is, it just timelines don't really matter and things will get done when they get done. But the trust and belief that I do have in Lifted Logic, they've literally taken my brain and put it into a website. Yeah. Like they've listened to every little thing and done it their way so that it comes out how I like it. But it's just, it's literally, I've complimented them a couple of times. It's literally exactly what my brain is trying to say.
Yeah.
Well, and as we get into this and we learn more and we moving through these podcasts is so cool because, hopefully the listeners can just learn more about us, right? And the depth of Brown Shoe Fit Company it's a lot. And I'm sure, I know, being in some of those Lifted Logic meetings, like as much as we tried to explain what Brown Shoe Fit is, let alone your brain and all the things, like we said earlier, that's going on in there, like we are a complicated company and very successful over the century, but it's a lot. So to try to get all of our company and all of our stores on board and all of our ownership model on board to a centralized .com is a feat, and it's going to be just a ginormous accomplishment.
Yeah, and I mean, this can help listeners too who maybe have a company and are wondering if they want to dive deeper into e-commerce and seeing the benefits and hearing our journey. And like you said, we've been around for so long. Stores will always be the hero of Brown Shoe Fit. Mark believes that to the bone. Craig does. I do. This is just a support to the overall picture in the customer journey. It's 2026, and e-commerce site really helps the customer journey. This just helps make us current. But again, if you're wondering if you want to get into Brown Shoe Fit, run a store, own a store, e-commerce is there really just to help support you in your journey.
Yeah.
And maybe we feel free to add on to that.
And going into, how we're setting up and the complexity of Brown Shoe Fit, where we are 73 individual voices. We are 73 locally owned stores. Lifted Logic did a great job of portraying that in our website.
Yep.
My team and I beat it into them every single day. Like this has got to be successful for them. Mm-hmm. The Brown Shoe Fit is them, the 73 stores that their voices, their pictures, their profiles are really them. They're not, I like to even say, like, when's the last time you went to a big box store or bought online and actually knew who you were buying from?
Mm-hmm.
Brown Shoe Fit, you can click on our locations and go read more about us.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm even trying another thing called Local Anywhere that really shows what we're doing in our local communities, what the power of a shoe sale at a hospital or setting up at the factory, or heck, even advertising your neighbor's bakery, or, you know, whatever. It's being truly involved in the community. And frankly, I don't care if you're in Florida where we have no stores.
Right.
If you want to be part of our local network, we're glad to have you. We want to be Local Anywhere. We want to share our passion for shoes and for community involvement everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the .com really gets us there to be able to truly show what we're doing. Heck, this podcast, just talking about it, gets us out there even more. Like, just the avenues that, you know, Brown Shoe Fit, we always joked, is the best kept secret out there. Well, I'm tired of it being a secret.
Yes.
Like, I want
Yes.
everybody to know how awesome we are. That, you know, I'll blog and brag and however we got to get it out in the world, we're going to do it.
Yep.
It's just such a cool time to, you know, again, with your experience, with your success that you've had on .com, and how now you can lead us as a group, as a company, into this next venture of, again, it's 2026. I think we said in the last episode, like, it's a little bit embarrassing. We're retailers and we're getting a website and launched it in 2025, right? Like, we're scratching into this thing that's been around, and we've known it's been around. Obviously, we're retail. But now, and hearing you and the passion you have for the connection of not only our stores and our local communities, but of the country. And we are local owners. That's very, very rare in retail. But now we have this website where anybody can jump on. Like Mark said, you can read about every one of our owners, the passion they have, the story they have of their community, their person that they are, and what they're building locally. And, you know, and for me in Fort Dodge, it is Cargill and Coke Fertilizer and the city of Fort Dodge and all those connections with your Local Anywhere information that you're going to add to the website gives us an opportunity to kind of brag about our connections, but also just connect. And connect our story and connect our people. Then you throw that into this amazing website that's in everyone's palm of their hand, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be big.
I mean, honestly, part of my dream is for, you know, an individual location to basically have this program, wanting their community to be part of it, begging to be, hey, how can I be part of this? And heck, even if it goes as far as, I'll pay you $200 to be on your Facebook page, you know, to even get like paid advertising, because people know to go look there, because you're basically your local news station. You know, you're talking about community events. You're talking about what you're doing in the community or what the sports team did. You know, you're really being a cheerleader for your community. And how cool would it be if some, you know, restaurant says, you know what? You have the eyeballs on your Facebook page or your YouTube or whatever. I want to pay you and I want to be a part of it. I mean, it's because there's not a lot of local news. There's not a lot of local people cheering out there. I mean, yes, everybody says, oh, go shop local, you know, great. But who's really cheering it on? You know, who's really reporting about it? Who's
in connecting people, right? Like connecting small businesses, connecting your big employers in town with your local retailers. And, you know, we've done it for decades of time. We kind of just do it behind the scenes. Like you said, we are kind of a kept secret, that not even on purpose, but we just don't put ourselves out there a lot. So I think this format, your .com format, is going to be a way to just connect everybody. It's going to be cool.
And you said, I love this, because I was thinking the same thing, just hearing Mark talk about this. You can just feel his passion. We can in the room when he speaks about what he's doing. You know, it's passion. I think listeners will think you feel that as well. So
For sure.
yeah, it's super cool life journeys, just starting with eBay, building business in Cedar Falls with e-commerce, then this position opening up to run this. It's just funny how life works. Well, I think about that often for you.
I do too. And again, Mark's our guy. He's been our .com guy since the eBay days, right? He led that. He was one of the leaders of that. So for him to be in this position and leading the .com is fortunate for us, fortunate for Brown Shoe Fit, but with his love for it and his passion for it, it's a good fit also for him. So I love it.
Yeah. And really, kind of going back to the story of, yes, I left the office to go open, Cedar Falls, from scratch. And we were doing okay, but then COVID hit. And at the time, Mr. Ruzick was the president. I just called him up and I said, I'm building a website. I don't care what you have to say. I'm going to do it. Just wanted to let you know. And he said, well, build it for as cheap as you can and let's see what happens. So for $79 through Shopify.com, I built brownsfootwear.com again. And it went very well. But building that on my own, for my own store, for my own customers, I got to see the good and the bad and everything, and realizing that it could be done, but it would be even more challenging than I originally thought at the national level or, company level. But doing that process, we wouldn't have been near as successful as if it would have happened the first time in 2011. So again,
funny how that worked too.
Yeah, things happen for a reason, and I've said that a lot. I'm happy with my journey. I'm happy with how I've done things and got to experience opening a brand new store. So I can, honestly, we're a company full of teachers. I think Craig, you said it the other day, like you'll teach when it's time to teach or something.
Yeah. I have to stop and think on that too. But it's the teacher will appear when the student's ready.
Yeah, and
not until then. And that's a perfect example of us as managers and as we grow through our journey. And we all start small. All three of us started in small stores. That's our company model, right? Like we have to go out and prove that we can actually do it, and then. 20 years later, 24 years later, wherever you're at, that's the proof is what gets you there. And then also we prove maybe what we can't do or what we don't want to do. Not that we can't, but we decide we don't want to. So then we just pivot and then we go after what we want. But, Brown Shoe Fit as a whole is you start early, you start small, and you prove that you have what it takes. And the more you prove, the bigger it gets. And now Mark's sitting here with a .com with 73 stores inventory and leading a team of people and has volume goal figures that we will keep to the chest and won't talk about. But it's big. And it's but it didn't happen by accident. He didn't stumble into this. He proved that he had what it takes, and he proved success in Cedar Falls. But yeah, to get to open a new store from scratch, and I talked a lot about that last episode, that's a special piece with Browns. Because a lot of our stores are, 50, 60, 80 years old. They've had a lot of managers, and Mark and I both got the opportunity to open from zero. And that is a special opportunity.
That's probably one of the most things I'm most proud of is I get to have founder in front of my name.
Yeah, that's cool.
Founder of Cedar Falls.
That's so cool.
That's the elite, I don't know if I can officially say founder of brownshoefitco.com.
Why
but,
not?
at least half.
Hey, we'll give you half of it.
Yeah. Maybe the found part. I don't know.
Maybe founder with a small F instead of capital F.
Or just don't put the ER on there and I found it and just kind of made it better.
That's right. Love that. That's so good. I mean, so kind of shifting gears a little bit, but before we hit record, we were talking about AI and just innovation and how innovative you are. So kind of a two-part question. Listeners who maybe don't know a ton about e-commerce, wanting to find out more, What are maybe some things that they might not know about e-commerce? Maybe even the percentages of in our territory versus outside of our territory, and what you've seen, and then the relationship, with e-commerce in our stores, what that journey's been about, and then, again, just maybe some behind the scenes that from e-commerce and your journey. Again, just all the things you've seen. What are some things that might surprise listeners?
The big surprises is, in the shoe world, you would think there'd be like a standardized set of even data points, your model number, your SKU number, your UPC, your cost, your retail, some type of standardized way of like, hey, if you're going to be doing shoes, like this is kind of the preferred way. And it's literally like every brand has their own language. So getting all that data in our system in a standardized way, I thought was going to be a lot easier. And even employed a company to help me with that. And after they kept, no fault to them, messing up on things because it wasn't coming through the right way, I said, okay, it's literally impossible at this point in time because every brand was just this much different that we couldn't successfully do what I wanted to do and almost standardize. Like I wanted to be able to roll out to every single brand in the USA saying, if here's a standardized set of you need to do this, this, and this for everything to work good together. Mm-hmm. And it just didn't happen. I'm not that big time, I guess.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. But I will say with AI, things are becoming a lot easier to, manipulate the spreadsheets, to, give it what you want in a standardized format, and to have that repeatable. So we're working on that type of stuff every day as far as how can we make our jobs just a little bit easier speaking 1,000 different shoe languages, so that was a challenging part behind the scenes that I didn't fully get. And honestly, still don't fully get, and trying to relay that to 73 owners, on how our data needs to be a certain way to make everything speak the same language.
Right.
Is still a challenge, but our company is willing to learn. And so we're getting pretty good support from the stores on that. You had asked about, how the stores are supporting or reacting or whatever. And I'd say for the most part, the proof part means a lot in Browns. And really, every day I'm trying to prove to our stores that I'm not a competitor at brownshoefitco.com. I'm a supplement. I'm an addition to your business. I'm not trying to get people to buy online all the time and not ever come into your store. It's a constant battle, or that was probably the wrong words, but constant challenge, just to prove to our stores that it's for them. It will work. So far, my predictions are ahead of schedule. Mm-hmm. So far, everything that's happening, I knew it was probably going to happen. And we're working through those challenges and making sure that we, walk before we run. But we're right about running line. It's getting really exciting on that part. But yeah, with the AI innovations, we're even taking that to our store level even more, and helping them with, well, Adam, you're helping them, with some business plans. I'm trying to do, with that Local Anywhere, an outreach program so that we can reach more of our local communities, have a nice link, for the people out there to fill out so that we can connect with people a little bit more. But just, some of that to help truly connect our stores to the .com so that they feel comfortable that it is a tool rather than, a competitor.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah, it's, I think the connections keeps coming up, right? I think that's one of the key words with what we're doing and connecting. Again, we're a unique company with 73 owners, and we all get a little bit we all get a little bit territorial with our stores. We build these stores within our 30, 40, 50-mile radius, and it's our build, it's our store, it's our four walls. The biggest thing every retailer fights for is traffic. It's store traffic. We have to have people come in our door in order to do what we do and give them the service and sell them products. So, but again, it's 2026. We're good enough retailers. We know our customers matter the most. The market is the market, and the market demands .com shopping. And it's not one or the other. It's both. And Mark said earlier, it's just another tool for us. It's another source, another way to sell shoes. And I think the more we get our heads around that, and the more proof we put into that, and we start seeing the numbers, the buy-in and the buy-in's already there, but the buy-in becomes even stronger when the proof and the sales continue. So it's going to be good.
If anything, we want this podcast to feel like a conversation, and these are real conversations that we have, and letting listeners in to Brown Shoe Fit and what we do. So this is awesome. A huge part of what we do, what we talked about in the first couple of episodes too, is guest experience. And so I'm guessing that correlates to e-commerce.
Oh yeah.
And so, again, our journeys have been stores, and again, you built e-commerce, but you see the customer interaction. Maybe you deal with directly, but you also have a team. But how does guest experience correlate to e-commerce? What is a great experience online? Maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, really guest experience online is, obviously having your website very organized, easy to shop, easy to navigate, the return process spelled out and as easy as possible as you can make it for people. The days of truly free returns are kind of going away. I think Zappos and Amazon have kind of proven that model that, Amazon still does some free returns, but Zappos, they don't actually make money. So it's kind of crazy how that can happen. But anyways, it's guest experience. Really it's acting fast. It's, you get that email or that phone call and you're answering the phone, or your text. We've got the capability to text people back. We're stuck on the other line, but we'll get right back to you, or can I help you, through text message? That's honestly one of our biggest lines is, hey, we're stuck on another call, but can we help you through text? And a lot of times they just, hey, where's the link for return or whatever? And, we get it fixed right away. Or, we do ship from our 73 stores, and sometimes our employees make a mistake. They ship the wrong shoe, or, one shoe's on display and they forgot to put it in the box. That happens. But we're quick to fix mistakes, apologize obviously for our mistake. And, sometimes we even, hey, we're going to fix your order, but on top of that, here's a 10%, 15% sorry, coupon for next time. It's owning your mistakes and just fixing them. And most people nowadays appreciate that, and they appreciate talking to a real human, having a real human reply to them. Yes, we could do AI and reply and all that, but again, we're so prideful on how we respond to people and how we want to be the best in customer service, not just say it, that we want to respond individually, to each thing. And, maybe there's the time where AI is so good, you won't even be able to, whatever, and you can exactly say what you want to say. So maybe that'll happen. But at the same time, we're still going to have eyeballs on it and making sure our customers get taken care of, because that's why we're still around, is because we take care of our customers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so cool how you again, your store level brain, your customer care brain, it is always easy to say for people, but Mark's had that experience with in-store and now into .com. And we know, because we've done it for our careers, but every single person's different. Like it's hard to, again, AI's coming and it's coming fast, and we'll probably be able to use it with customer interaction. But when you have a website and your customer interaction is people, And every situation's unique. Every situation's a little bit different, and we don't have to handle it cookie cutter. We can handle it one at a time and handle just, again, problems are always going to happen, right? With whatever it might be. But I think it's so cool how we can take our customer care and our interaction with people and take it right into the website and still do that. And through a phone call, through a text, through whatever works for the customer.
Yeah. And that's really a lot of why I don't have one of those pop-up boxes, on our website as far as, get help now. Well, we do have a phone number on there that you can text or call us. And yes, we do man it from, like 9 to 3 weekdays or whatever. But, emails we're trying to check and get back to all the time. It doesn't matter when it is. We're still trying to get to it quicker, whether it's on our phone or whatever. But the speed of helping people online fix issues is a real thing, but I don't want a pop-up box and somebody thinking I'm going to, email them right now on this pop-up box and get an immediate response, because sometimes it's not immediate, but we also don't want you hanging out on that web page like, okay, are they going to answer? They're going to answer. And that just gets people mad. And where we don't have the team big enough yet to fully 100% man that all the time. That's why that's not there. That's one of the questions we get. Well, why don't you put one of those chat boxes up there? Well, because I want our customer experience to be better than that. Yeah. I don't want some AI agent saying, yeah, please call this number anyways. Okay, great. So.
Yeah, one at a time and take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yep.
I love that you mentioned Zappos. I mean, a competitor, yes, but Tony Hsieh, the late, great Tony Hsieh, what a great book he wrote. Just reading about his journey. So
yeah, Delivering Happiness is definitely one of our favorite, right? And and how he came into the industry and just blew it up. Right? He literally just blew up the whole industry, and so it's hard not to respect that and respect what they did. And you can throw Amazon in there too. I know they get beat up on a daily with retailers, but I don't know if I've ever been more impressed with a mind and a retail. You talk about customer first and everything's built around the customer. It's hard not to be impressed with Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's as hard as it is to say sometimes, but they are legit.
This is a real conversation. It is hard to say, but timing is super important too. Like the timing that they came in and they decided to, yes, we're late to the game. We're thorough. It's good. There are some pros and cons to that, but timing is a lot as well. But
yeah, I mean Zappos. Yeah, if they give me 0 seller fees and our brands would actually allow us to be on there, sign me up, baby.
They figured out traffic.
Yeah, if they're listening out there, let's talk. Yeah, because maybe AI will pick that up and get us in contact with them.
There you go.
Right? In the right way.
Perfect.
In the right way.
I guess without getting into the financial side of things, because we are building it, but always curious to get in the minds of people's goals. If we're talking 3 to 5 years, what our website looks like, what success to you looks like. I know a lot of those are financial metrics, but if there's anything maybe that you're measuring besides that, I'm just curious to hear your mind on what success means to you and what your goals are.
I mean, success within the website is measured, yes, in dollar signs. And yeah, we want to make money out of it. That's why we do this business, is to make money. But going back to that tool and for the stores and for them is probably way more important for, my legacy to me is giving them the tool and having them proud of it to say, hey, go check this out. Because I've been part of some websites that aren't very pretty and then were just made to sell shoes and they worked. That's fine. But like, it's the just being proud of it and not having anybody be able to nitpick it whatsoever. We're still in that phase, and I love feedback from our owners, from our, office people, everybody. But yeah, it's almost like critiquing your kid. So be careful when you critique it, because I might snap on you. But it needs to be done. It needs to be done. You know, you always want your kids to be well-rounded as well. Love you, Finley. But yeah, if somebody said something just even yesterday, and I just had my skin just boiling. I wanted to jump through the phone and punch them in the face. But yeah, it's being proud of what you have. And yes, I've got great big goals financially, and honestly, it involves currently at our numbers is I want to be half of the company. I mean, like the .com numbers, I think, you know, yes, we're in a 12 state, 73 community radius right now, but, you know, 48 states. And there's a lot of people that wear a lot of shoes that, you know what, these guys that are local anywhere, I want to shop with them. They look like good dudes, good girls, good people.
Right.
You know, and that's what I want to be known nationally is someplace that you can get shoes from somebody you know. Yes, you don't probably know us individually on a, you know, neighborly form, but at least you can look at our website and be like, you know what? They're real people.
Yeah.
I want to support that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's really my goals, is to be nationally recognized as a company that sells shoes and has good customer service and take care of their customers. You know, so that's kind of what success looks like for me is nationally recognized and having our stores proud of what we have.
That's cool. Yeah. I mean, those goals. And again, we're business guys, and we, you know, we're all three on the hold back with we don't want to share too much, and we shouldn't, right, on the numbers pieces, but the reason why is it is people, and it is a 115-year-old company that, in order to stick around, there's no reason, or that's not the reason that we're going to have legacy and we're going to stick around. Nobody truly cares that we're 115 years old, right? Like we do, and it is a powerful history lesson, but that doesn't mean we deserve anyone's business.
They want to know what can you give me today?
Yeah.
And
How are you showing up today?
And they should.
And they
you know,
should.
we have to play in the market. We have to be relevant in retail. We have to be relevant to our customers. And we care deeply about our customers, and we care deeply about growing this business another 115 years. And .com has to be part of that. So it's cool. I mean, and again, Mark's passion just bleeds into this room, and we can feel it wholeheartedly. So hopefully you can out there too. But it's cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Kind of on the back half of this episode, we can lead into more about, you know, Brown Shoe Fit overall, and, you know, maybe the culture of Brown Shoe Fit. You've been in it for a long time. You have too. Just, I guess, what do you, when you think of Brown Shoe Fit, what is the culture that you think that we are? What attracted you to Browns to now be where you're at in your career? What keeps you here? What keeps you telling other people about Browns? Just curious, the first thoughts that come to that.
I mean, really, it all goes back to people.
Yeah.
You know, my best friends are in the company. Yes, I got a couple outside of the company too. But truly the people that I talk to every day that I bounce ideas off of are within Browns. You know, I look forward to our company outings, or, you know, coming down here for the podcast to just hang out with other Browns people, because my brain never shuts off, and most people that are successful in Browns, brains never shut off. Right. We're always thinking, not necessarily how can we sell that next pair of shoes, but what's the next idea? What's the next brand? What's next? We're always looking for what's next. Yes, it took us a long time to get to next on the .com, but we're always doing our research. We're always trying to do the what's next. So that's, you know, the people are what makes Browns, the ideas, the constant daily challenge or goals that you have within the company, that you can truly have your own roadmap and your own agenda, but have 72 other stores and our corporate office staff to be able to support those ideas and those those passions. And, you know, that's why we're better than any box retailer, is because we can truly customize overnight for each community. Like we can have a new idea and it can be already started the next morning.
Right.
You know, we can go order that, you know, pair of shoes or that brand, obviously, if the brand has them in stock and all that stuff, but go find the new brands, go put them into our local areas at the drop of a dime, where, you know, when there's 19 levels of a corporate structure that you got to go to get things done, that's where a lot of companies lose their them, because it's all about the uppers. So yeah, I mean, that's customizable is super awesome about Browns, and probably why I'm still around is because I do have the support from our company to come up with new ideas, to push the envelope, to ask the what's next question. Like I love what I had a manager say, hey, we just did our first X, you know, dollar amount of a week and we weren't even running a sale. I said, all right, cool. Now do that every week. What's next?
What's next?
What's your next idea?
Yep.
And it might have taken his sales out a little bit. I did say congrats first.
Okay.
Right.
But then my next text 20 seconds later was, what's next? How am I going to challenge you next?
Yep.
And that is awesome. Kind of in the spot I am in the career right now is I do get text messages from other store managers like, hey, you know, I did this and I did that. Thanks for your help, you know, because I'll help anybody. And it's truly awesome to hear the excitement from other people. But then also, okay, challenge them. Yeah. What's next? How are we gonna do this bigger? What's going on?
And that patience card is always the one, right? Like you never want to knock the wind out of that sail, but at the same time, you know, maybe they've been doing it for 10 minutes, right? Or they've been doing it for 4 years or 6 years, whatever that number is. And we've been around. We've been doing it a long time, and we do know consistency is one of the most important things.
Totally.
But the Browns piece of, you know, the culture and and you said it first, words out of your mouth, and I agree, the people. And one thing that, you know, we have 73 stores. We've been around 115 years. Some people listening or that don't know us might be like, well, that's not very many. For 115 years, you have 73 doors. You know, why not 400 or 2,000? But it is because of our structure and our model. And with the people piece, literally first, always, we grow people first. We grew Mark, we grew Adam, we grew myself, and then we do more business. And that's the model that has gotten us 115 years very, very strong. And we do things very calculated. We do things very purposeful. And we grow people, we grow our owners, and then we grow our business. And we don't reverse that. Where I think in today's world especially, there's a business model typically that's going to be a very planned out business model.
Yep.
And then you're going to plug people in accordingly.
I was talking about this with someone just the other day. I agree.
It's a great
Completely.
thing. It's us in a nutshell as we grow people first, and then we grow our business. And if we keep that front and center, nothing stops us. Nothing holds us back, and the creativity we can do through decades of time we're always gonna be strong, and that speed we can take, we can be so fast about things, but then we're super slow about things also. So here we are. Yep. It's an amazing company.
The common thread, you know, we've talked. People have come up this whole episode, which is what we're all about. That common thread is care. Like you can feel it through the passion in Mark, you know, about what he's doing and his journey, the care through Craig, hopefully the care through myself. You can feel that, you know, and that's what keeps me at Browns and what attracted me to Browns, and just talking about, you know, a journey and in the first episode and training for Jason Wetzel and feeling that immediately when I was out in Longmont, Colorado with him, and just how much he cared about me as an individual, me as a family. That's not just for the episode. I tell everybody that, like, that's just true. So, and we all have our own stories and our own journeys. It's pretty spectacular company. No doubt. So maybe a couple more questions here for you. Speaking directly to that person wanting to come into Browns, maybe running their own store. What would you say to that person? Maybe, speaking directly to them, thinking about the people you've told the Brown Shoe Fit opportunity to, over the years. What are those few points that you say specifically to them that might attract them to the company? Just curious.
Yeah, I mean,
other than what we've already talked about today.
I mean, it's the freedom, freedom to be you, freedom to be yourself, freedom to, again, run with your ideas. Obviously, proof. You got to prove yourself as you go along. But to be your own boss, to make your own team, it's a proven track record. Again, proof.
It's important.
Our business model is proven, and we were the best kept secret out there, but we're trying very hard now to not be a secret. And those 73 doors, obviously calculated risks and calculated openings. We do want more people to be able to open more stores. Because yes, we should have a few more, but we're going to grow our people first, and so right now we're in the seed planting stage, we got to do a little bit of watering, let them grow a little bit. And it's just the possibilities and the freedom to be your own boss is like none other. And to have a training program like we do have set up now, the National Apprenticeship, with Kelsey is amazing and growing daily. And it's just getting good people. Like literally, if you're a good person and can talk to somebody, we'll teach you the rest. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, that's as easy as like your job qualifications. I hadn't sold a pair of shoes ever. Yeah, I knew what a shoe was. I love shoes. But oh my God, there was so many times where I tried to sell a shoe and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And it worked. So I was like, all right, let's do this again.
Right.
Obviously, we want people to have knowledge on things. And we do study really hard. But man, when I was a college kid doing that, I didn't know anything. But we as an example, we teach you along the way. And we mold you and really give you all those tools. So just the biggest advice is just hop in and do it. Go to your local store, fill out the application online, brownshoefitco.com, careers. Go there, fill it out. It's going to get in the right hands of people and just say, hey, I want to do this thing. I want to own something. I want to be part of something. Mm-hmm. It's just the whole people part, the family part. It's just, you want to go out and crazily shake everybody's hand like you're campaigning and say, are you dumb? Come on, come work for me. Where are you working at now? That sucks. Come on in. Let's do this. Yep. But then you get looked at like you're weird.
You're kind of creepy.
Yeah. I already get that look anyways. So, it's my passion, my excitement for things, sometimes gets me in a little trouble, but it's all good hearted and, for the betterment of things. And it's just, for anybody listening, just, man, it's the things it's done is just, you can't describe it. So
it's awesome.
Yeah. The ownership model, we got into it a little bit on episode 1, but you get into this thing, you fall in love with the business, like Mark said earlier, and all three of us for sure have, but you get to run your store and then you get to purchase and buy into your store. Every single store is a separate LLC. We get to own part of that LLC. We get to take profit on a monthly basis based off of how we do in our own store, not company-wide necessarily. And then we can buy into stores throughout the company. And then through the years, we talked about this last time, we are an investment company. We are in the long haul because we get to invest in other stores. Like I said earlier, I got to invest in the Muskogee store. When Mark ran that thing, my withdrawal checks were never better. And but we get to purchase part of these stores throughout this company and build our portfolio. And that's we barely touched that. That's a whole episode in itself. But our ownership model. But again, that we don't necessarily get started because of that. But then we realize pretty quickly, holy moly. Like this thing's legit. This thing is an investment opportunity that's not out there. And when you can get return on your money in the mid 20s to the mid 40s to maybe low 50s, you got something. You got something to invest in.
Yep.
You got the whole passive income on social media today, and the whole real estate and buying rentals. And I'm telling you what, buy some shoe stores, because shoe stores are a pretty good ROI and a pretty good passive income.
Yeah, when I was doing research on different companies and different opportunities, this is legit the best opportunity there is. So come check us out if you're interested in running a store. It just is what it is. So,
Yeah.
All right, just wrapping up here. Great episode. I learned a lot about you and just e-commerce and just your mind, and I think listeners did too. So last question I try to ask everybody, really just if there's one last piece of advice, business advice, personal life, whatever advice you want to leave with people today, what would that one thing be?
I mean, really, whether you're looking for a career, whether you're looking for shoes, there's no better company to look for than Brown Shoe Fit Company.
Boom.
The best experience in store, the best experience online. We're gonna help you, and let us be local anywhere.
Awesome.
I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. It was a pleasure having you. And go and be awesome, everybody. Talk to you soon. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. If you're interested in finding out more about Brown Shoe Fit and the opportunity that we have, please visit brownshoefitco.com, our careers page, where you can find out more.